Willkommen zurück zu The Witcher 2. Wir haben ja beim letzten Mal mit Cecil Burton gesprochen und ihn ein bisschen über die Schlacht vor 3 Jahren ausgefragt, wo er ja dabei war. Da hat er richtig viel erzählt, also das fasse ich jetzt hier ganz bestimmt nicht zusammen. Und auch noch ein bisschen mit dem Jorveth, der mal, ja, wir haben dann im Endeffekt auch noch drüber ausgefragt, warum er den Vernon nicht mag und bla bla bla. Auch so ein bisschen Hintergrundgeschichte einfach. Also hier ist ziemlich viel Politik und so Schweinereien im Hintergrund, so politische Scharmützel halt einfach im Spiel, ne? Ja, aber wir müssen jetzt hier das Blut von dem Stennis finden. Und hier geht's ab.
Such judgment is above their station.
I believe it's Hensel's property.
Serfs and lords will never be on the same side.
Wraith, humans only care.
Geralt, it's good to see you.
The commoners claim Stennis is involved in Saskia's poisoning. They're looking to slaughter him.
What's stopping them?
The knights, Adernian noble lords.
Not easy to raise a hand against a blue blood.
A peasant by the name of Calton was at the council. He didn't seem to respect anything or anyone.
Calton's a blackguard. He'll use any excuse to raid and plunder.
He has a taste for noble blood. They say he buries gold looted from the lords in some gorge. Looks like things are getting nasty.
Hear me! What do you want? I'm Skill and Burden. I keep order in Vergen.
Or doing a nice job then? Where was you when they poisoned Saskia?
Give us the prince! Get the flails!
Stop!
Jorveth.
Squirrels! Everyone who wants to leave this yard in one piece, keep your hands off your weapons. I don't care if you're a serf or a lord. I'll kill you all if need be.
What's going on?
The servant carrying wine during the feast said that Prince Stennis and Olgan poisoned Saskia. We want justice!
You want revenge. It's not the same thing.
We don't care. Saskia's fallen as if dead, while the poisoning prince and noble lords rush to herd us onto the field and sell us to Henselt. We won't let them!
You lie, Calton. Nobody's being sold out. The poisoner must be caught and tried by law.
Your law? What then? He'll pay a fine and get spanked on his ass? We'll spank him all right, with an axe to the throat!
Where's this servant?
Safe. The Scoia'tael keep an eye on him.
Why is the prince hiding in his house if he's innocent?
Enough! I'll shoot the first to reach for a weapon. Then heads will start falling.
There's more of us. You can't kill every...
Then you'll be first. Now back off! We need to act quickly.
What's your plan?
I'll frighten them a little. Bleed them if need be. I'll buy you some time, but be swift. I can't hold them off for long. Question the peasants and the nobles, and talk to the dwarves. Maybe you can get to meet Stennis.
Even if he's guilty, I'm sure he's prepared a suitable story.
You'll know how to sort the sheep from the goats. Also, find the servant who started talking so suddenly. You won't have time to talk to everyone, though, that's for sure.
Rolling dung, you surly dog!
You don't have much time, okay.
Saskia's on the pier.
Can we have a word?
Why not? I'm Ogden, a founder. I cast mugs, plates, chalices. You need any, Witcher?
No thanks. The tableware in the council chamber is your handiwork?
It is. Made it back in Mayor Farragut's time. Since then, each and every goblet has hit the floor dozens of times, and what happened? Nothing, because they're steel. My goblets are indestructible, impervious to both the fury of sovereigns and servants who are all thumbs.
Saskia's chalice was new.
Aye, it was. Back in Mayor Farragut's day, I venture Saskia was no more than an itch in her da's breeches.
Who ordered the goblet from you?
That goblet was a gift. A way for the folk of Vergen to pay tribute to Saskia. I got the honor of casting and presenting it to our lovely leader. The lass liked it so much, she's not used any other vessel since she received it.
Was the order for a normal goblet?
Not a chance. It was supposed to be a gift. I ornamented it richly, even on the inside. Not terribly practical, that, as it's hard to get clean. Some scum is bound to remain. but I wanted it looking downright regal, worthy of our Saskia.
The other chalices were not ornamented on the inside?
Course not.
Any chance there could have been 2 identical goblets?
Why, there's no craftsman that comes close to me in Vergen.
Could someone have tried to copy your handiwork?
Ha! I know of one who's been trying for years, but he's a fumbler, a screw-up. He's not produced one decent vessel. They all look like the work of a drunken elf. Thorax, his name.
See you at the inn. We'll grab a beer.
This is good to see someone's taking care
Prince
of it.
gained with the Virgin's death.
I could tell you what he lost with her life.
So, okay,
As I see
vielleicht.
it, every princeling
Say,
likes to
Witcher, come over here.
Guilt must be proven.
Say,
Otherwise,
Witcher, come
it's
over here.
vigilante justice.
Okay, was
What
willst
do you
du?
want?
We of noble birth always had to protect the plebs from their own stupidity. If not for us, the world...
I don't have time to listen to songs praising the nobility. Know anything about the attempt on Saskia's life?
No, I don't. But whatever the truth, the mob cannot lynch one of royal blood.
So truth means nothing to you. That's what makes us different.
I didn't say I don't care about truth. Just keep in mind there's a world order that mustn't be destroyed.
An order that allows injustice.
If the prince turns out to be involved in this attempted murder, he should face a tribunal. The rabble doesn't understand the principles ruling the world.
Or they do understand them and simply don't like them.
Saskia is a wise woman, but there's one thing she doesn't take into consideration. This war will be over one day. Who will sow the crops and milk the cows then? Saskia called the serfs to arms. Do you think they'll want to plough fields again?
You may be right, but it's certainly not my business who'll plow your fields. Farewell.
Give us this horplower!
Okay, das hat gar nichts gebracht.
Surly dog!
Bloody Rolf.
Your tone when we put a sickle to your throat.
Hurry up, Wäsche!
For your hogs.
I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Finally, someone reasonable. It's obvious Henselt bribed some serf who then did what he was told.
The local peasants love Saskia.
Those surly dogs would gleefully accept a heavy pouch. Show me a serf with any sense of honor.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. The prince couldn't have done it. The wine was in plain sight. Only the servants touched the decanters, and who are they? Commoners. Then that same commoner incited his folk to stand against the nobles and the prince.
Something to think about. I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Ist jetzt der gleiche?
Finally, it's obvious.
Ist der gleiche, aber gut.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. Then that...
Something.
Okay, Moment. Thorak. Habe ich jetzt hier echt Zeitdruck oder kann ich gemütlich? Ja, okay, aber genau, das war der vielleicht dieses Ding nachgebaut hat. Irgendwie. So, was haben wir denn hier noch? Das ist im Moment wirklich das Einzige. Wo finde ich den?
Rolling dung, you
I'd gladly hear your opinion on
Fine. It's
Nein, mit dir will ich doch nicht reden.
That's in
just... Then that...
something.
Ich habe doch eigentlich den hier.
I'd gladly hear.
Fine. It's
Oh, ich sag mal,
That's it.
just... Then...
der ist ja überall.
Save your threats for your hog-smelling...
Why is he lingering about? Like the stench in a dwarven hovel?
Those witches be craving gold. This one's sure to say the prince is innocent, then sting Stennis for a pouch.
He better search for a lad who served the Virgin instead of pissing around.
Yeah, once done with the prince, he'd better take care of the magnets, throwing their weight about too much they are.
The prince stood right next to Saskia during the council. Did he have access to the wine cellar beforehand?
How should I know?
Why flap your mouth then?
The prince is a wealthy lord. Bribing a skivvy to poison the wine is nothing to him.
Just because someone can afford gold teeth doesn't mean they'll pull their healthy ones. What's it really all about? Who's backing you?
We want justice.
We don't need no one backing us. We knows what to do.
How would you punish the prince?
If a lad counts hens wrong, he'll be flogged. What should we then do with a man poisoning others?
Kill him.
A land without a ruler is a nightmare.
We have a ruler, the Virgin of Eden.
It's not certain she'll live.
Then we'll choose another who'll manage, but he must be one of us lads. That way he'll understand us.
And all people is gonna be equal, our way.
And the non-humans?
We have enough dung on the fields. Let non-humans find a non-human land.
Away with them!
Assis.
You know Saskia's servant?
Willie of the Oblates. He handled the wine, indeed, but loves the Virgin like a sister and mother put together.
He'd gladly get quartered for her.
Where's this Willie of yours?
Hiding in his shack, afraid of them lords. Squirrels guard him.
Farewell.
Give us this harp. Enough of this charade.
Try to be reasonable, folks. Sit down and talk in peace.
We've talked enough. Come on, lads, let's drag the prince from his hovel.
Vergen's not a cesspit for anyone to shit in. There are laws to abide, and Scalen Burden's job is to uphold them.
There's no law allowing a serf to threaten a king's scion. I, Silgrat, brother of Seltkirk, the greatest knight to walk Edirnian land, say so.
Does it matter who was born in a castle and who in a pigsty? Any fool can prejudge and condemn. It's easier to accuse than to prove guilt.
A peasant servant claims that Prince Stennis supposedly attempted to kill Saskia. Why would the prince do such a dastardly deed? Bear in mind how eminent is his lineage.
That's why. The mongrel covets the crown.
Do you even remember how valorous he was towards Saskia during the negotiations with Henselt?
Pretending to be with her, he was, sly fox. Taking the simple peasants in. But us lads ain't so dumb as you lords think.
See for yourselves how the commoners hate the prince, spitting venom like adders. They hatched a plot to dispose of him.
Saskia's servant said that...
Where is this servant, might I ask? If he's got something to say, why does he hide like a thief? The answer is simple. He's a fraud.
He's hiding to save his skin from you, whoresons. Squirrels have to guard him.
One last question. How could the prince poison Saskia? It's a known fact that servants taste wine from the barrels before the Virgin sips it.
No need to poison the wine. Smearing the poison inside the chalice would be enough.
I never heard of anyone poisoning a chalice.
You haven't heard much, then. One of the Emperor's forebears died after sampling some lamb. He was always scared of poison and ate supper with his cook. The murderer spread poison on one side of a knife. Then he cut the meat so that only a small piece was poisoned.
The witch is right. Give us Stennis.
Saskia's got her own chalice.
It was commissioned from one of the dwarves. The order came with a very detailed drawing.
Even so, how did it come into Saskia's hand?
Ja, gute Frage.
It's not clear how the prince poisoned the wine, but that doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Stennis is blowing hot and cold. Everyone knows that.
You were supposed to prove his guilt, not insult him, yokel.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanted to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you noble dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his savior.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
Answer me this. Was not Stennis' room next to Saskia's? Do not the wines come from his own lice-ridden cellar? Can he not enter the Virgin's kitchen at will? Yes. His serene dumb-head the prince can. Curses on his kin. Nobody in Vergen wants to kill Saskia. And even if they wanted, nobody but Stennis could do it.
Es macht schon Sinn, aber ich meine, ich mag den ja auch nicht, den Typen, ja?
Those are just words. Too much guesswork and not enough evidence. You can't convict anyone based on that.
Your Highness, this is dangerous.
The penis.
I'm not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins.
Blah, blah,
What do you
blah.
want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against it. In this world there are crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world. And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Edern? Firstly, Saskia is alive. so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her. And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Edern, can judge me. Can it? And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you? I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign.
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
Da bin ich mir noch nicht sicher und das hier ist eigentlich richtig.
The prince has a right to a fair trial, no matter if he's guilty or not. We can't deny him that. What will the peasants do if we hand them the prince? Will they hear him out? No. They'll hang him from the nearest tree or tear him limb from limb. What will happen if we allow a lynching? What if people see that might makes right? Who'll guarantee they won't desire to avenge their wrongs, real and imagined? Who'll protect people whose only fault is noble birth from the exasperated mob? And where will it lead?
Ja, auf jeden Fall haben wir Blutvergießen
Peasants are
verhindert.
furious,
They didn't dare mount a frontal attack.
but they haven't forgotten about Stennis, and won't. It'll be that way until Saskia regains consciousness.
She won't keep order by strength alone.
Unless it's a great strength.
We need an authority figure, and royal blood.
5 courts go to waste in the Dwarven dungeon at the moment.
There's also Henselt.
Going into that haunted mist is madness. Stealing Stennis away would be easier.
No. Anything involving Stennis will cause a riot.
I've had enough of the peasants and nobles barking. Saskia's the best leader I know, but she can't hope to defeat Henselt's army with this rabble, which is why I'm going to get reinforcements.
Where?
4 Scoia'tael units await in hiding to the east. Time to summon them.
You'll make it in time?
I must.
Obtain some of Hensel's blood. Ach, jetzt muss ich... Ja gut, aber hier an der Szene hat man jetzt gerade wieder schön so die Spaltung zwischen den armen Arbeitern, sagen wir mal, und halt irgendwelchen Königen und Royal Bloods und ach, keine Ahnung, das ist zu viel Englisch, schwierig das jetzt irgendwie auf Deutsch zu bringen. Ja, da ist eine ganz schöne große, weite Schere dazwischen, ne? Aber der Geralt, ich weiß nicht, so in den Zwischensequenzen, das ist eigentlich ein richtig guter Charakter. Und so wenig er eigentlich Bock auf Politik hat, so sehr kennt er sich doch aus. Also, ich finde den richtig gut, den Typen hier. So, und das war auch echt irgendwie eine geile Szene, also war schön gemacht. War jetzt fast wirklich 20 Minuten lang, nur so Dialog, Zwischensequenz und was auch immer. Aber ja, es wirkt richtig glaubwürdig, das hat mir jetzt echt gefallen. Jetzt tue ich mich mal kurz orientieren. Also, ich muss jetzt scheinbar echt zum Hänsel drüber, um Blut zu kriegen. Ja, und an den Stennis kommen wir nicht ran, weil es sonst hier wirklich irgendwelche Aufstände gibt. So, was war das? Philippa, ja gut, da muss ich dann eh wieder hin. Das hängt alles irgendwie miteinander zusammen. Das spielt hier in diesen Hunting Magic mit rein. Da kann ich dann die restlichen machen. Bring it on Worgen. Ah ja. Und das da. Die zwei machen wir jetzt mal kurz zwischen rein. Hoffe ich mal, dass da Zeit für ist, weil ich wollte es schon machen eigentlich, aber der war irgendwie in diesem Bereich, wo jetzt hier eben da diese große Szene war. Darum wollte ich das dem nicht vorgreifen. Und das hier, das war dieser komische Silkrad, der schon gerade gesagt hat, ich Silkrad, Bruder von bla 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 und blub blub blub. Ja, ich glaube, ich habe mal fast gedacht, dass es eigentlich der ist. Also vielleicht ist es ja sogar der, wäre ja witzig. Ja, aber mit dem müssen wir auch nochmal irgendwas machen. Okay, aber nächstes Mal. Bis dahin, tschö mit Ö.